Shalom. All praises due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the Bonner Elect, Apostle, Bishops, Elders, at Red Stone, and well. Shalom to like Akia there doing his work in sincerity and truth, and not for vain glory in season, out of season. Okay, we're dealing with prophecy, things that's going on in Iran. Okay, and what's going to hit here in America is the downfall of the feminism movement. Okay, all right, because resources are going to be scarce. As far as the oil, because the Iranians, they're cutting off the Strait of Hormuz, where most of the oil comes through to through the world. Okay, and you have Esau, the so-called white man, Trump. He's trying to open it up. He's trying to steal all the oil, which America is constantly trying to do. They put war in Iran, the state of Israel in America. Okay. But, that's over near that area, near Iran. Okay. So Iran is cutting off the oil. And most things in America, and even in Europe, and even around the world, China, so forth, they live off of oil. Okay. And it's going to affect things here in America, and eventually it's going to come here to America, so all these women, with their cars and, their houses and stuff that they have and so forth, things are going to get bad, but it was never set up for women to be in the position of owning things. Okay, all right, she's supposed to be barefooted and pregnant, and of course that's a bad word to women here in America and Europe and even all over the world, because most women in the world, they're coming towards this feminism. You go to North Korea, they had a movement, against men. And, even when you go to even other certain countries, they're taking on the philosophy of the feminist movement, all right? But when it comes to the so-called black woman, okay, she was never meant to have rulership over her man. She was never meant to choose and pick who she wants to be a mate, right? Okay, you have the black manosphere, and they're making videos daily, basically, on their podcasts to show that how wrong these women are and how entitled they are. Okay, but that wasn't the plan from the jump, and they're gonna go back to the position that they're in, being barefooted and pregnant. Now, is that a disrespect to our mothers, which most black men, Latino and Native American men would say, oh yeah, but what about your mama? Well, my mother was meant to be barefooted and pregnant too, okay? This is the role of a woman, that a man should rule over her, okay? All right? Now, does that mean we don't love them and we hate women and, you know, no, it doesn't mean that. It means that we all have a place in the position of what Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai set up. She was created to be a manservant, okay? And we were created to be the servant of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. That doesn't mean she's not going to live good. That doesn't mean she's not going to be taken care of. That doesn't mean that she's not going to wear nice clothes. That doesn't mean that we're going to treat her like an abuser. We're going to just beat on our women and shut up and take the sperm in your vagina and shut the hell up and do what I tell you to do. Which, okay, that's a part of it, but we're going to treat our women good in the kingdom. Hey, man, they're going to be lavish, man. Lavish day, they're going to have a care in the world. And to be honest with you, that's a woman really wants. She just wants to be taken care of, you know? You know, you see what's going on in these manosphere podcasts with these women. You know, they show these women saying, I need a husband, I need a husband, I need a husband, you know? Because they just want to be taken care of and they want to live comfortably. And that's how the black woman is going to be. Latino, Haitian, West Indian, a Native American woman. They just want to be taken care of and live a lavish lifestyle. So that's what we're going to give them in the kingdom of heaven. And guess what? They're going to be popping out babies, you know? And they're going to be happy. Okay? Okay? Really, women don't want to deal with the whole system of building kingdoms and, you know, and dealing with other heathen nations. No, women don't want to deal with that, man. They just want to live comfortably, okay? And that's what's going to happen. And we're going to love them. And, you know, and we have to say this because it's not so much the women that, you know, that buck up against the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahshua through the scriptures. It's a lot of men, man. You know, a lot of men. Oh, dog, she be barefoot and pregnant. That means you don't love her. No, G. You off on that. You know? She's going to sit there, be pretty, which that's all women want to do is be pretty, right? And get attention, right? Well, what you gonna be pretty and she gonna get the attention, you know? And that's what all women want, bro. I mean, you know, but anyway, let's go into the scriptures, all right? To see who's the important one. Is it the woman or is it the man? All right? This is Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and the 16th verse. Until the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bear forth children. Yeah, because, you know, she came to Adam with a different philosophy than what Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. What Yahweh Shai was Adam. So what Yahweh told both of them not to deal with. But of course, she's small-minded, she's simple-minded. Wisdom and knowledge was not given unto a woman, nor understanding. The serpent deceived her, which was, you know, Esau, even though he had color back then. Esau is a so-called white man. Okay, but back then, he still had his color. And he deceived her. Why? Because she's weak-minded. Okay? And she took on the other philosophies of, you know, that the Lord told them not to deal with. And Adam ate of it. He dealt with the philosophies. He got weak over his woman, and this is the situation that the woman had to deal with. So that's why she has pain in childbirth. Okay? It says, until the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And that's how it was always meant to be, you know. It was always meant for a man to rule over his woman. Okay? Now we know, through slavery, under the so-called white man, we have no rulership, no control over our women. I'm talking about you so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. We have no control of our women, bro. Okay? The so-called white man has given them the liberty to do what they want to do, and we have no control because we're not in power, But we're going to get that back, But it was set up for us to rule over our women in righteousness according to the laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? And, women are going to want that when the shit hits the fan. Okay? In the time of Jacob's trouble, women are not going to say, I'm still going to do my own thing. Well, the women don't run society. Men do. Okay? Men run society. Men create kingdoms. Okay? Not women. Men build what do you call it? Infrastructure. Okay? All right? They build cities. They build governments. All a woman wants is to be pretty, have attention, and that's that. And she wants sex. So when sex happens, what happens? She has children, sons and daughters. That's all women want, She wants some nice clothes. She wants some jewelry. She wants to braid it. She wants her hair to be nice. That's all women want, bro. Okay? So we have to stop putting women on some high pedestal. They were created to be ruled over by men. All right? And that's what's going to happen. All right? Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. Why? Because all hell's going to break loose. They want protection. They want security. Stop putting these women on a fucking pedestal, man. All right? They're supposed to be barefoot and pregnant and be pretty. Shalom.